We are on now with the great Rhonda McGee. She is going to be joining us live on Zoom. So you guys are all used to this. Thank you, Rhonda. We're so sorry you couldn't come in person, but we will get you on Zoom. We'll take you whatever way we can get you. Rhonda is a tenured professor of law at the University of San Francisco and a thought and practice leader focused on integrating mindfulness into higher education, law, and social change work. Yeah. There she is. A prolific author, she draws on law and legal history to weave storytelling, analysis, and practices into inspiration on how to live better in a rapidly changing world. She's the author of the acclaimed book, The Inner Work of Radical Justice, Healing Ourselves and Transforming Our Communities Through Mindfulness. She's also just a lovely human being. Thank you for being here, Rhonda. Enjoy.
Woo. Hello. Yay! Hello, everyone. And it's such an honor to be with you all. Even though I'm joining you as I am remotely, I'm actually presently in the beautiful state of Michigan, where I have been joining and meeting with graduate students at the invitation of the Barger Leadership Institute, which is a kind of a leadership and mindfulness-focused organization for the 21st century. But from this place, I greet you with a warm heart. We just had hail here, which was a joy for me as I'm normally in San Francisco. So I've got that energy of, delight in this lively universe that I happen to be a present to, but also the sense of being connected with you. So what I'd love to do before going much further is invite us into a practice together. Because yes, I'm here to just create a moment of engagement, of reflection together around this theme of emerging together right here, right now, experiencing a sense of healing, even amidst all of the difficulties that we are facing wherever we happen to be, whatever our bodies happen to look like. In this moment, as we sit here today on April 8th of 2022, the world is experiencing another level of the trauma and the challenges of this time. We know what we're all up against. We are trying to emerge from coronavirus as a public health crisis. We are doing our best, many of us, to try to kind of make a way out of no way and support our neighborhoods, our organizations, our workplaces, in continuing to heal from, to grieve the losses of, and to adapt to the world that dealing with this pandemic has created. So as we do that, of course, at the same time, we are bearing witness to we are continuing to witness the aggression, the war, the unjustified killing, the sort of break with what many of us consider to be sacred international human rights norms that we are seeing visited upon so many beautiful, innocent people, children, and whole communities of people in Ukraine right now as we speak. So on top of everything else we're challenged by, the temptations of our technology, which we've been reflecting on today, the addictive qualities of those devices, the different personal struggles that many of your panelists in the last session reminded us exist in all our lives. Again, no matter what our bodies are, no matter what level of privilege or disadvantage that many of us may have experienced as we have gathered together in this moment. Each of us have walked very different paths, no matter how similarly we may look or how similar our jobs might be or whatever we may have in common in terms of our resumes. Each of us has walked very different paths to get into this room today. And while our blues may not be the same, while the suffering that we've each experienced may not be the same, I guarantee it isn't, nevertheless, we know something about suffering. And so we know that this period that we're in for humankind in general is a tremendously challenging one. And yet, I'm here I'm here to kind of uplift that which we know to be so about the possibilities inherent in this time, notwithstanding the challenges. And so I want to invite us to kind of feel our way right here, right now, to take a moment, wherever you are, if you're willing to practice a bit with me. I'm hoping that you can feel in this moment the preciousness of your own body just as you are. So whether you kind of move into a more or less formal position for a moment of meditation, if you're in a seated posture, the feet on the floor, but however you happen to be in the body right now, the invitation is to take a moment to bring your attention back to this home, right? And to sensing the aliveness in your body right here and right now. So breathing in and breathing out and feeling this breath flowing through the body and noticing as you breathe in and out the points of contact between the body and the earth beneath you. So if it's the feet on the floor, starting right there, letting your attention rest there. Perhaps you prefer to rest your attention on a point of contact between the body and the chair. Or otherwise, it may be just sensing the breath flowing in and out and knowing as you breathe in and out that with each moment, we're being blessed with this reminder that it is through the gift of our ability to breathe together that we touch into, in every moment that we live, the reality that we live in a world that we've inherited, that we have been gifted with, this beautiful planet, that in this very moment, as we feel our feet on the floor, and as we do so, feel beneath that, sense beneath that, the earth on which we sit, you, wherever you happen to be, in Silicon Valley, me in Michigan right now, and those many others who've joined us, we are all resting on this beautiful earth together in this moment. So perhaps taking a few more conscious, gentle breaths in and out, and allowing the body to rest in this place, on this beautiful earth, feeling a sense of your inherent belonging, no accidents. This life inherently mattering, or else you wouldn't be here, unless otherwise we wouldn't be here. So as we breathe in and out, feeling a little bit more in touch in this moment with the preciousness of our lives. Seeing if there's anything that's coming up that is at all challenging for you. And if, as you come back home to the preciousness of this moment, the unrepeatable moment that we're sharing right now, and through which we're always invited to begin again. If there's any difficulty arising, perhaps placing one hand over the heart, or both hands over the heart, if you feel into that, see what feels more comfortable for you. Or you might, one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly button. Really, the invitation is for you to allow a moment of gentle sensory support by placing your own loving hands in these important energy centers and feeling the aliveness of your body, but also acknowledging what might be difficult for you in this moment, difficult emotions that you too are feeling as part of the whole of this moment, not turning away from what is difficult, but at the same time, noticing what else is here, noticing where in the body you are well, where in the body you happen to be at ease right now. So breathing in and breathing out and allowing yourself to touch into that aspect of you right now that is well, that is a manifestation of your basic goodness. So if you can breathe in and out and settling just a little bit more into kind of a easeful remembering what it feels like just to be at ease, just to be contented, to know that you have enough, to know that you're supported in this world. Breathing in and breathing out. And maybe noticing where in the body you're feeling a little bit of that ease, that basic goodness, that well-being, or maybe more. And if you're starting to really feel it, see if you can allow yourself to be your basic goodness, to feel yourself emanating the ease, the well-being, maybe a little bit of joy. You might imagine, almost have the metaphor of the sun or part of the sun resting in the body wherever you're feeling well and safe and at ease. And just to imagine not getting in the way of the part of the sun that rests within your body, not getting in the way of it, and letting it emanate out your goodness, your love, your original medicine for this time, emanating out as goodness, love, medicine for what ails us right here, right now. And as we breathe in and out, allowing what is well within us perhaps to expand and fill the space of the body, down to the floor, the feet on the floor, up through the legs, the lower torso, feeling the quality in the heart, the feeling in the heart right now, and the warmth, if you can feel it, of your own beating heart. And then up through the shoulders, noticing any tightness and allowing yourself to relax and release just a little bit more. Up through the neck, softening the jawline where we often are holding more stress than we realize. Allowing the eyes, the softening of the eyes and resting. And now as you breathe up, feeling the breath up past the neocortex, the prefrontal lobe, and up to the crown, right? In the back of the brain, these parts of the brain we're often not in touch with, allowing a reconnection to this part of the body. Now down through the nape of the neck and the shoulders from the back. Imagine almost a cooling waterfall flowing. Revivifying the body in this moment. And as we breathe in and out, feeling again the power, the strength of your being alive right here, right now. And from this place, remembering your life power. Feel the sense of freedom. Allow yourself to let go of anything that you no longer need, whatever doesn't serve in this moment. If you can just let go. Breathing in the power that you have to make the best of this moment. And as we begin to draw this meditation to a close, what I'd invite you to do is imagine again, allowing this warmth of the sun in your heart to just emanate. And perhaps it might be flowing to your left towards those who maybe sitting near you to the left or to the right. Or if you're alone, imagine it flowing to the east, the west, north, and south. Imagine, in other words, that what is good within you can emanate out, is emanating out right here, right now. So that these moments that we spend restoring ourselves, we know are not only for ourselves and indeed can support us in meeting the world as we find it today, allowing the suffering that we meet to be transformed into opportunities for connection, for finding a new way to begin again, for healing what ails us in a way that transforms us into the people who can make a way out of no way, as my grandmother would have said if she were faced with the situation we're in today. Let's together make a way out of no way and keep finding green shoots of possibility, beginning right here, right now with our own brokenheartedness and working to heal that in practice moments just like this. So when and as you're ready, I invite you to just, if your eyes have been closed, gently and intentionally bring them open. And if you happen to be near, those of you who are in the audience might take a look and around you and greet someone you haven't greeted, or just allow a sense of this moment where we have been touching back into what is well within us and inviting, sharing, emanating that goodness. Notice that that was an invitation that we are exploring, delivering, or inviting ourselves and sharing with others, but also in receiving. Can we receive the wishes for well-being that are in this moment, circulating in this community, near and far? And we feel our way into the positive potential for mindfulness and compassion practices to really support us at this time. Thank you, my dear ones. So I really thank you for taking a few minutes and settling into a kind of practice, a restorative practice, for calming the body, feeling what is well within you, feeling the basic goodness and contentedness. A kind of practice that I, as a cisgender Black-bodied woman in the United States at this time, have had to rely on, have relied on, to help me stay in touch with, well, what I kind of often, think of as, yes, my original medicine for this time. I don't believe in abstinence. And so in the work that I've been doing, certainly with the book I have shared, and many of you, I have heard from readers out there in our wisdom community. So I know that a number of you have done me the honor of reading my book, The Inner Work of Racial Justice, right? So this offer really grew out of, well, yes, a desire to make a contribution. First of all, as many of you know, I've been trained and fortunate to study law, and as you know, I'm a law professor. But I was also trained in the military. Not everybody knows that, but I was trained as an Army officer through the ROTC program at the University of Virginia. I was a graduate student in line to get a PhD in sociology. So I have been in all of these kind of traditional places of training and development. And it was from this journey from being in an impoverished Black community in North Carolina, in a child of the civil rights era, a child of the busing era, who my own family really didn't have any of the kinds of opportunities that I had. But having had this kind of almost miraculous arc, finding myself from North Carolina to Virginia, having traveled to San Francisco, become a law professor, that I realized that all of those kinds of highfalutin trainings that you get at fancy universities and training programs and certificates and a nice resume, those were not the things that were adequate to help me make sense of the world that I experience and continue to experience in this body at this time. So as many of us have suffered many different kinds of trauma, and certainly I was one who too suffered a childhood in which there was abuse, alcoholism, and many of the legacies of our historical patterns of oppression were showing up in my household, physical and domestic abuse that I witnessed as a child. So some of your psychologists, and we study, these adverse childhood experiences, and we are aware that having experienced trauma can mean heightened levels of difficulty throughout our lives. But I'm here to tell you, and here as just one data point, but not only just one data point, as someone who is studying the science of well-being and flourishing, with applying the research from neuroscientists like those at the University of Wisconsin Center for Healthy Minds, and many others who are giving us evidence that these practices can do what my life has shown, which is they can help us heal, even when we were born in circumstances where we were not predicted to thrive. So as we experience this time together here at Wisdom 2.0, we're being gifted with each other's presence, with each other's brilliance, with an opportunity to get to know each other's work and to thrive and learn from it. If we can remember that this is a moment that presents us with so many opportunities for healing, starting with ourselves and with our deepening commitment to exploring the practices that support us in healing, to sharing what we're learning with everyone we meet. Because I do think part of what we're trying to disrupt are those patterns that tell us, well, we've been trained to, and we've been educated, we've gotten into this particular network, and maybe we don't have as much in common with people who haven't been trained in this way, or didn't go to these sorts of schools, or haven't been trained in this method or that. I think the moment we are at right now is inviting us to find ways. The young people at the University of Michigan are inspiring me as I'm here. Basically, they're reminding me we need to play more together. We need to just really, play more together from where we are. We need to find the joy that we know is in our hearts and just speak to that, because as we amplify the joy that is in us, we, by definition, disrupt oppression. And we know we deserve better. And certainly the world deserves an end to war, including the wars within us that can keep us disconnected from the parts of ourselves that need healing. So let's soften the hearts, starting with the loving, kind healing of the separations within us, and then bring as best we can, or as we heal. You don't have to wait for all the way healed. As we heal, can we bring this healing to those around us? Can we bring the spirit of play and joy? Can we sing together? Can we dance together? Because it is through feeling our own healing and feeling the deeper capacity that we all have to feel our joy and to share that with each other, that we experience a kind of personal liberation. That is what I think this moment is calling for all of us to experiment more with at this time. So yes, while I'm personally deepening my meditation practice, I'm studying with deep teachers in meditation, I'm also listening to the young people who are saying, we don't have to wait until, we don't necessarily have to get a certificate of, capacity to teach meditation before we can access the joy within us and start sharing that. And whatever shame we might be carrying about what we have or have not accomplished to this moment, if we can drop that, the moment is demanding that we drop these things and find our way back into a sense of the joy of being alive together. My dears, as we think about what it might mean to emerge at this time, I think celebrating across lines of real and perceived difference, celebrating everything that we have in common, because we do have so much more in common than we have that divides us. Celebrating that and demanding care and love as we go. These are the things that I've been exploring in the work that I do, offering, again, trainings around this theme of the inner work of racial justice, but really it's the inner work of repair and healing. And I hope, and I do pray, as my grandmother would say, right? I was born in a Christian household and where we believed in the power of pausing, recognizing that our lives already inherently matter, and that the time that we have on this earth is precious and short. And so if there's anything I want to leave this audience with, it's with this challenge to remember every day that the next day isn't promised to us. And so how do we want to live in the moments that we have right here, right now? This must be the kind of fire that we amplify to help support us all in healing, finding that equanimity that can help us sort of be the ocean that refuses no river, right? And finding the sense of liberation that I believe we were all meant to feel. We weren't meant to feel this pain. We weren't meant to witness our brothers and sisters murdered on the streets of their neighborhoods in Ukraine or in the South Side of Chicago or San Francisco for that matter. We were born for love. And so may we find ways to, whether we call it meditation, dancing, playing together, may we find ways to kindle that which is good and well within us, and to continue to expand our abilities to create structures, institutions, policies, and practices through which we emanate the possibility and great potential of these times. So I want to end there, and I just want to thank you all for allowing me these few moments. As I close, I would invite us to pause together once again as you breathe in and out. Again, touching into what is well. Breathing in perhaps what is painful and sorrowful as we look upon an earth that does need our help, that does need us to sort of help end war and heal the suffering in our neighborhoods, in the opioid addiction, in all the addictions. There's a lot of need and pain in the world, and yet we are here, no accidents. So feeling as we breathe in, we're strong enough to face the difficulty. As we breathe out, feeling the extension of the love in our hearts, extending the love right here, right now, extending that love. Thank you all, because I can feel the emergence together with you as we breathe in and share this love. Thank you.
Yeah, my mic on? Thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda, we celebrate you, Rhonda. Wherever you can see me, we celebrate you. Thank you.
Thank
there
you.
you are.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.